Hey guys, in this video we are going to recreate screen 2 over here as promised. As we can see, the application is divided into 3 parts: the top section, the middle section, and the list section at the bottom. And if we go and see how we managed to recreate this in main.dat, we have screen 2 displaying. If we go into screen 2, we see that we have a column that displays 3 children, the header top, which represents this part, the top section, which represents this part, and the list section, which represents this part. So let's comment this out first. Save that and then press R in the terminal. So if you go into the header top section, we see that we have a row that has a list of children, 2 text children, and an icon that's wrapped in a container. The row itself is wrapped in a container to provide some padding around it. The row spaces its children along its main axis, and we've specified that it spaces the children space between, meaning they separate the children equally along the space available horizontal. The reason we've wrapped the icon in a container is to access the decoration property to give it this background over here. And that's all for the top section. Coming back to index.dat, let's uncomment this one, save, and press R in the terminal. And we see our middle section show up. So if we go into this time we see a column, a main column child with 2 children, the text widget and the flex widget. The column itself is wrapped in a center widget, and we've specified a height factor so that the center expands thrice as high as the column, which is its child. So the column has an array of children, which is the text and the flex widget. The text widget just displays a text, and we've just given it a color. The flex has an internal array of children itself, which is 2 text widgets and a size boxed in between. And the flex, we've specified that it should arrange its own children horizontally. This is because the flex is nested in a column. The column arranges its children vertically, as we had mentioned before, but the flex arranges its own children internally according to the direction that we've specified. So for us, we've specified that its axis should be the horizontal axis, and that its children should be aligned in the center of that horizontal axis. And that's what gives us this. So the text at the top and the flex with its 2 children arranged horizontally. Going back to index.dat, let's uncomment the last section, save, press R in the terminal, and we should complete our design over there. Clicking into list section. List section is a bit more complicated. So it's a list view. It's a list view wrapped in a container, which is again wrapped in an expanded widget. So the list view is wrapped in a container in order again to access the decoration property and to also give it the border radius on the top, left and right, as you can see over here and over here. I didn't want to make the whole thing round, and it's also more in line with the design that only over here and over here. We further wrapped the container in an expanded because you can't display a list view widget. You can't nest a list view or a grid view and a column or a row widget. It will cause layout errors. And as you can see, the list section is nested in a column section over here. So hence why we give it we wrap it in an expanded widget. The list view has array of children. First is the typical list style. We've given it a list style. And the second is a more interesting reusable widget that we've made. We're calling it a reusable list style. So we'll look at the typical one first. So this list style has title specified as last transaction, and we've given it a style which just increases its size and made it bold and given it a white color. And trailing, we've given it a text button, which is one of the buttons available in Material app. Given it an empty on pressed because it does nothing as of the moment, and a text child with the text see all. We've made this a little bit bigger and we've given it color blue. And this corresponds with this first title here. So it has no subtitle or anything else, or even a leading or anything. It's just the title and the trailing, which we gave a button instead of an icon. So coming to the reusable list style, if we click into the reusable list style, we see that it's a widget that has a constructor and expects a text style, a subtitle, a trailing title, subtitle, and a related icon. And over here we have specified what exactly that is. So they are final, that is, you can't change them later on, and it's a string, and this is the name of the string we will receive. This is how we'll reference it from the widget that's calling it. Same for all the rest. And the icon, we've just said it's an icon. It's not icon data, it's an icon, meaning we're passing the entire icon down, not just a particular information relating to the icon. So over here again we have a typical list style, except we've wrapped it in padding to give it some padding at the bottom so that they don't all smudge next to each other. And the list style over here, we've given it a leading, which is the icon, the leading icon here, related icon. This is where it receives the icon we're sending down, and we wrapped this icon in a box decoration again, just to access the decoration and to give it a bit of a border radius, just to make it a little bit softer and a bit better. And we've given it a padding all around so that it's not hugging the icon that it's receiving. The title is just a text. So it's a string, so we're passing down a string. We're doing nothing to the string. We're letting the title, the list style itself, give it the default styling it usually has for title. We've wrapped this in a padding just to give it a bit of some space at the bottom of it, so it's not again lying right on top of the subtitle. Subtitle is just a text again. I mean a string, not a text widget, a string. The trailing is a column in this case, and it has two text children, and a size box for the height. I could have also simply wrapped the top text in a padding, but I decided to go with size boxed in this instance. And the text receives a string again, and this time we just say that we want this particular text to be bold. And this is the subtitle. So this one, it's okay, you can take the normal styling that it usually has. So if we come back to the list section and see what we've done here, for the first time we're calling this widget, passing this text title, the subtitle, and we're passing an icon here, which defines what icon we want, and we are defining the color as well. So we've done the same for all the rest, giving them different titles and different icons and different colors all through. And if we look at our design, that's what's causing that this icon is green and this one is purple, and they're all different icons, even though we are just calling the same class widget over and over again, but you're giving it different constructors each and every time. So we're constructing it. We're just telling it that you receive this information and this is how you should shape or you should organize them within yourself. And that's how we get this nice design. In the next videos, we'll tackle navigation, set management, and build a few projects with Flutter going forward, Flutter and Dart going forward. If you found this video useful, please like it. It helps it spread to other people who are also trying to learn Flutter and Dart. Thank you for taking the time. See you in the next one.